And welcome back to another Gloves Down, Beers Up, man. I got Rocky with me from Spanish Fly. I'm not going to say the real Spanish Fly, bro, because I think everybody knows who is Spanish Fly, right? Let me ask you this. Um, is it insulting, do you think, when somebody goes to you and says, SF Spanish Fly, and then you have to correct them by saying the real Spanish Fly?
That's the most awesomest question anybody has ever asked me so far in an interview, my brother. It really is. It really is. Because yes, it is, man. Think about it. If you created something and the intellectual property of what you created was distorted somehow, you know what I'm saying? It was altered, or somebody put something else in it to kind of try to cover up the origin of where it came from. Mm-hmm. And then it was actually exploited, like my brand was exploited.
Right.
Then hell yes, bro. It bothers me a lot. And there's a lot of shit that comes along with that too. A lot of,
I bet.
Drama, bro.
I bet. But, before we get ahead of ourselves and we get into all of that, let me ask you, where do you come from? Where does Rocky come from? Like, what is your background? What, your childhood, bro? Where did the music bug bite you, and you figured out you had this talent?
Another good question. Yeah, man. So what it is that I grew up, pretty dysfunctional as a child, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. You said I could keep it real 100,
real, brother.
A raw nut cut. And that's what this is all about, So my history growing up, I grew up on the street pretty much, bro. I'm a product of the system in that sense. But at the same time, my folks, my parents, they are in my life. I do have a falling out with my dad, but when I grew up, as I was growing up as a young man, I grew up around music all my life. I mean, as a young man, my dad was a phenomenal musician. But he was like the Papa, the Rolling Stone Papa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he was always out there, doing his music and doing gigs and he could play every instrument, sing and write. And he played with the best, the greats, War, Malo, all those type of bands back in the day, man. George Clinton, he played with everybody.
So is that when you started watching? That's where you started watching and started like getting the understanding of music? Is that? I mean, you got to say that's
where I started.
Right.
Yeah, that's where I started getting my exposure at 6 years old. I got exposure, as far as I can remember. But 6 years old is when I first got on the mic. You know what I'm saying? I got on the mic, man, at an early age. My dad, he had his own studio in his garage. And this is where it goes, where I say goes dysfunctional, because since my dad was always on the road, you know what I'm saying? Right. But when he came home, going back to that real quick story, when he came home, he was always in the garage, with his studio. And 6 years old when he first threw me on the mic, because I was always wanting to spend time with my dad, man.
Right. Like any other little boy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Well, dude, if you're gonna want to spend time with me, then you need to jump on the microphone." And so, that was when I first learned how to freestyle on the mic, bro. Yeah. Yeah.
So was your dad one of these perfectionists? Because I know most artists are the most critical people, and actually every artist are very, very sensitive. Am I right or am I wrong? Very sensitive.
No, you're not wrong, bro.
Right.
You're not wrong, but at the same time, what happens is that the art it suffocates a lot of the how would I say, emotional issues that artists have. And so what happens is we hide behind our music sometimes, and we forget that we got issues we're dealing with. So it comes out in our music. I not only grew up with music, but I had natural musical talent as well. So
absolutely, man, absolutely. So let's move forward. I mean, let's go, up the years. Okay.
Okay.
Here you are, a young guy. Freestyle music is all over in the 90s in San Jose, California.
Well, wait. Let me cut you off real quick. I
Okay.
apologize. I want to cut you off
Go
because
ahead.
I got to kind of lead up to what you're about to ask me
Okay.
because
Go ahead.
I just want I want your viewers and the audience to know, to understand it. In the schooling system, I have an extensive background in terms of musical training.
Okay.
So, I mean, I grew up with the arts. I didn't just, not just because of my father, but I had a lot of, very, very renowned icon musical, heroes. I call them heroes
Mhm.
because around me, all influential, icons around me all the time. So, and my schooling, I had great teachers. So, I have a very extensive musical background. With that said, so yeah, leading up to where you're going with that, go ahead and ask me. I just wanted to throw that in there.
What made you? I mean, because your dad was working with a lot of these great artists. What made you go into like a niche uh, genre of music? Like, why did you decide? Hey, I'm gonna try freestyle. I mean, was it because it was like a first love type of deal, or did it grab you a certain way where you just got drawn towards it? I mean, because freestyle it was a popular it was a popular genre, but it was a popular genre among like mostly Latinos at the time, and it was a very small crowd of Latinos. Well, I'm not going to say small, but in terms of what hip hop and R&B were doing, that was like very minute, right?
Yeah. Well, let me touch on that. What it is that freestyle, first of all, is an urban genre. Okay, it's an urban style of music genre, and I say urban in terms of the rawness of the drums, the bass, the style of the type of music. So, with that said, is that that's where freestyle in my journey comes in because man, I had a thought, I lost it. But what it is that
Right.
yeah, man, sorry about that.
No worries.
That happens frequently because when I'm doing an interview, I got my kids in the background trying to come in. I already told them get out of my studio, get out of the studio while I'm doing an interview. But they throw confusion in there.
No worries.
So yeah, but what happened was this, bro, is that that's what I was gonna say. I want everyone to understand that freestyle wasn't necessarily Latino.
Mm.
It's just us as Latinos embraced it in terms of our area where we live. Because I grew up in San Jose, California, and there's a lot of there's a big Latino base culture there.
Right.
We got a lot of different types of Latinos, just like New York does. We got Cubans, Mexicans. We've got Nicaragua. You got everything there. So.
It's a melting pot.
That, like I said,
right.
Yeah. So what it was is, like I said, is that since freestyle is an urban style of genre of music, that was a real big type of music in our area in San Jose, California. But going back to your question, to pinpoint it, is that, like I said, I grew up dysfunctional. So at the time when I embraced freestyle, what it was that I was on the streets.
Right.
All right. I was 19. I was I'm sorry, I was 20. I was on the streets, and but I was doing all different types of music. I was actually doing hip hop and R&B before I even decided to get into freestyle. I heard freestyle before, but my thing was R&B and hip hop. So what happened was, you want me to get into the story?
Oh yeah, I'm listening. Go for it.
Okay. So yeah. So what happened is that at 20, I was introduced to a lot of different types of freestyle with a lot of different friends that I was around all the time, DJs and guys that were in the studio all the time doing different types of music. And one of my boys, his name is Richard Ramirez, out of San Jose. He introduced me to some tracks from the Latin Rascals. I don't know if you remember.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Damn. Yep.
And I heard those tracks, and then I heard just some different types of freestyle tracks, and I was amazed, bro. I was like, damn, this music. What I loved about it was that the emotional entrapment. I say, because it's like you hear it, and first of all, the drums are sick. They're dope, right? They're deep, raw, and then all of a sudden the lyrics and the vocals kick in, bro, and it's all about emotional and love. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Something
And
that
romantic.
definitely we're missing nowadays. You know what I mean? Like the music nowadays doesn't even have an expression of the way the way we were doing it back in those times, man. You know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what drew me into freestyle.
Right.
So I wasn't necessarily recording any Actually, I take it back. I had wrote one freestyle track because then I heard a George Lamont track. I think it was "Bad of the Heart," and I fell in love with "Bad of the Heart."
Yeah, man.
And so I wrote a track called "Arrow Through My Heart."
I remember that track. I remember that freaking track, bro. I was at. First off, let me let people know we came across each other through the music scene because we had at one time or another used to work with a particular guy that was a producer. He was trying to be a producer. God, what was the kid's name, bro? Help me out here.
Ramos De La Rosa.
Yes, Ramos De La Rosa, who was his dad. If you remember this, his dad didn't want us there because they were like Jehovah's Witnesses or something. But the kid was talented, and I remember him playing that track, "Arrow Through My Heart," and it had like a whip sound.
Yeah, exactly. Right when I said, I forgot if I said "Arrow Through My Heart," and then all of a sudden.
I remember that, bro. Yeah, that's great. So let's
I want to throw.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
No. I was just saying. I don't want to throw you off. Keep going, though. I want to keep going with the story.
All right. But before I move on, I want to, because I know my bro. He's gonna give me a hard time if I don't mention my brother. My brother is also a phenomenal musician, but he's more of a hip hop musician, artist, and rapper. He goes by Architect. Back in those days, I don't know if you remember Ruben Ramos. Do you remember Ruben?
Yeah, I think I met your brother. I think I met your brother before. And I think I met him with you. You was with you. If not, if it was so, go ahead.
He's the one who introduced me to Ramos.
And I've had him met him. Yeah, I've had him met him.
Yeah. So going back to there. So that was when we met, and that's when the journey began. That's when the story that's where it takes its part into freestyle. Because I just fell in love with freestyle and just decided, you know what? As much as talented as I was in the hip hop and R&B genre,
right?
You know, because I was doing some dope hip R&B and hip hop, but I just, man, I had to do some freestyle. I was like, nah, man, but I gotta record some freestyle.
Right. Right.
So yeah, I used Ramos's studio and we recorded that track, and so I submitted that track to Upstairs Records, John Lopez.
Okay, hold on. Let's back up real quick. So was it "Arrow Through My Heart" you submitted to him, or was it the actual Precious song? Which one was it?
Okay, so that's just it. I did a lot of demos with Ramos, and I had a whole, I think it was a full album pretty much with just songs of mine, just nothing but tracks. A lot of R&B stuff, but some freestyle stuff. And I really wanted him to hear "Arrow Through My Heart" because that was when. So let me back up. Before I met Upstairs Records, the people at Upstairs Records,
right?
I had heard Days, a track called "Girl,"
right,
on the radio. And that track was so dope, dude. The drums. See, this is a one thing, and let me just throw this in real quick before I go on.
What?
The one thing that I have a pet peeve about is this East and West type of, battle back and forth between, who's better, who's who's done
it better, and I totally agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this like, oh well, we created it. We're first, and to me, I honestly miss me with all that shit, because for me, I'm like, bitches, y'all don't realize it. I'm gonna keep it 100. Y'all don't realize is that I didn't even know what the fuck y'all was doing. I'm just doing me. I'm just doing what I was created to do, and it comes out this way. And to me, there was no comparison in terms of the our style, as they say,
right,
into their style. I thought it was all it's all sounds dope to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I heard "Girl," I actually thought it was an East Coast track.
I think everybody thought that, and everybody was like, "What? He's from the Bay, you know?" And the record company's in San Jose. And let me throw this in there really quick too.
Yeah.
Precious soundtrack though was a different sound.
Yes.
That roll of the beat of the drums in the beginning, that had like a hip hop feel. I remember that. I remember going like, "Oh shit, okay." Because I'm gonna jump into a story, then we'll go back to what you were talking about.
Yeah, go for it.
So here we are in the '90s, and I was in a group at the time with a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, who I've known for years, since like kindergarten, Jose Reyes, which everybody called him Pepe. And me and Jose in the parking lot of what soon would be across the street would be San Jose Live, but it wasn't there yet. So you only had like that club, the Mirage, and then I forgot what other club was up the street, but you had like DB Cooper's. And we're in the parking lot, and then here you come walking around the corner, and I think you were by yourself. And Jose, you and Jose knew each other, and you came up to us and you start talking about Spanish Fly, and you had a bracelet. I don't know if you remember. It was a bracelet that was made out of fucking like string. You know, the ones you would get when you're locked up, when you're in prison and shit, and you would send to your family or your old lady, like, "I love you." You had one that said Spanish Fly. Right. And you were telling us this, and I remember you were telling us about it, but you had no tape. There was no way of playing the song. And we all go into this club, and you talking about it, and you were super excited, like, "Yo," you said, "Hey man, watch, this is gonna come out, and when it's gonna come out, it's gonna hit everywhere." But this is at a time like everybody in San Jose knew somebody that knew that person. You know what I mean? It was always like, "Oh, hey, I got hooked up with Babyface." It was always that, yeah, whatever. So I remember me and Jose were like, whatever, and bang, dude. You had told us too. You're like, "Watch, the end of this month, my song's gonna come out," and sure enough, it comes out. And it comes out with a bang. And I remember that beat when it's rolling out. I was like, "Oh, dude, yeah." This dude came out with a really different sound for freestyle, which we called high energy there in the Bay Area.
You know, I'm gonna say this. I'm not one to be. I hate arrogancy, and I hate the braggadocious type of character. I'm gonna tell you the truth, but I'm gonna let loose on this in this interview, because I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. Bro, Precious, to me, dude, it said so many things to so many people in so many ways that's the reason why Precious was a hit. But in terms of, like I say, the East and the West thing,
right?
It didn't get that. It didn't get that at the time. Mm-hmm. Didn't get the recognition that it deserved in that momentum, because of the simple fact of the style of Precious. And you know what I'm talking about,
right?
Because it had that it didn't have those underground drums like a lot of the freestyle did at that time,
right? Like, it had that sample track that everybody.
It had that Miami bass,
right?
You know, that Miami bass feel. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so that's why San Jose was all up on top of that track because of it, and the surrounding, all Cali was about that track,
right?
And then it made its way to the East Coast. And it just did damage. So, but I just want to say, like, dude, I remember when that track came out. Before I get into what you were asking me, but when that track came out, I got off of work, and when it came out on the radio, I got off of work. I was driving. I had a jalopy, bro. One of those big ass. I don't remember even if it was a Cutlass or what the hell. I just remember it was a big ass car.
Yeah.
And. Man, I got off work. I was driving home, or to my girl's house, I think, and it was about 8:00 in the evening. I think it was. Man, no. I take it back. It was about 6 or 7, and I'm at a stoplight, bro, and all of a sudden, bro, out of nowhere, on your local the top radio station in that area, Hot 97.7.
Yeah.
I hear my song just bust out, dude. This is your local boys, Spanish Fly and whatever, how they announced and everything, and they played the track, bro. And at that moment, dude, I never felt that feeling in my life ever again, bro. It's like
Take,
You know what I'm
take me,
saying? You hear
take me
your
through
song
that,
on the
bro.
radio, man.
Take us through that. Like, okay, so here you are at a stop sign or stoplight, like you were saying. The song comes on. Was it surreal for you? Like, did it take you a minute to go like, bro, this is me. This is what I've been working for. I'm finally here. Was it your I've arrived moment?
In that sense, since I was a 20-year-old young man,
Right.
I mean, imagine, you know what kind of energy we had back in those days
Right.
at that age. So for me, it was like, yeah, man, it was like I'm gonna tell you what happened. It was like out of the movies. I immediately I was at a stoplight on a turn signal, okay, and it was red. A stoplight, red stoplight, and I put the car in park as the song was playing, and I jumped out of my car, dude, and I did this. You know what I'm saying? This this dance, bro.
Right.
I didn't give a shit that I was holding up traffic, bro.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, man. So it was one of those type of moments. I jumped back in the car, man, and I rode to my song the whole journey back to my girl's spot. But yeah, man, it was crazy.
So was it John Lopez that reached out to you after you sent the demo in? I mean, what song was it that grabbed their ear where they said, "Hey, let's bring this guy in. Let's bring him in. Let's find out what he's all about."
Oh wait, I want to say something. That song, before I answer that question, that song right there was the lowrider jam of that summer, bro. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, bro. It was bumping everywhere. Yep, it was bumping everywhere. There was no airspace you can get away from Precious on that summer. There was just none. You know. I definitely remember that, man, because you were bro, you were a proud son of San Jose for that. I mean, you made a lot of us feel, you know, a lot of the guys that were working to try to get something out, whether it was hip hop, rap, gangster rap, high energy freestyle, whatever, pop, whatever you were thinking. When you came out, it was like a moment for us to go like, that's one of us. That's one of our guys. You know, that did it.
Yeah, because you know, to touch on that, I remember right before I was that job when my track came out, I had another job. I worked for Kraft Foods. I was working for Kraft Foods I don't remember, I was a boxer or I don't know what. I was a warehouse guy.
Okay.
At Kraft Foods. And I was at lunch, and this is before my song had came out. And this is actually before I was homeless on the streets, but I had that job. Right. And I remember I was struggling, bro. I was struggling hard, and I knew what I wanted to become. So just tell you this real quick story. And I had mentioned to a couple of guys in the break room, in the lunchroom, I was like, man, you know what? Because I was the type of dude that when I saw something and I knew I wanted something, I would go after it and I'd become it.
Right.
And I told these guys in the break room, man, you know what? I'm gonna become a star. I'm gonna become a famous singer, and you guys are gonna know me here in San Jose.
Yeah, so there was yeah, no, go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah, this is before I even pursued Upstairs Records. This is before the song even came out, way before. And I remember what happened when I said that. The guys in the break room, a couple of guys were laughing at me, bro. They were like, "Ha ha ha! Yeah, okay, sure." You know, they did that whole thing laughing at me, bro. And see, for me, I was the type of guy that, for me, that was fuel for the flame. Like, it would always be like, I'm going to prove these motherfuckers wrong. Like, I was that type of dude. And so I was like, all right, let's see what's up. And so that was the motivation that I need to put my money where my mouth was. Right. And that's exactly what I did. You know, I was in that struggling homeless situation, and I said, you know what? I'm going to become a singer. Fuck this. The world's going to know who I am. At that time, that's the kind of energy I had. So
I was going to ask you. So this was really not like a make it or break. This was I need to make it. I'm homeless. I got to get out of my situation. It was
not an option.
Right, it wasn't an option.
Exactly.
So everything because I mean, you were working. It wasn't like you were homeless and not collecting cans or nothing like that. You were working.
I was homeless because of the situation prior to got me homeless. Because when I had got out of high school, mm-hmm. I went to LA. I went to LA to become an actor. This is what made me homeless. Oh. I went to LA to become an actor, And when I did that, I got into, don't get me twisted, I actually got into the Arsenio Hall show as one of those kids in the background. You know, when he used to open up his show, and you would see the kids on the commercials in the background.
Yeah.
Like introducing the next star. I was one of those kids on his show. Yeah. But what happened was is that I ended up in LA homeless because I went out there just saying, I'm going to make it. You know how it is, trying to fulfill the dream.
Right.
And I had a lot of potential opportunities, but what ended up happening was I got discouraged, and I was anxious. I didn't want to pay the price. I was just anxious, but I wanted to get into it because of my situation. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to go back to San Jose, and I'm going to try doing it in San Jose with music. So when I did that, I went back to my house, but my dad, he didn't want me back in the house because, you know, he had just got a new girlfriend. He was on his own trip. My mom went to Mexico. It was like I didn't have a place to go. So, you know, I found myself on the street. You know how it is.
That's fucking rough. That's rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're working, and what? Everything, all the money you're making is going to music? Is that what you're doing? You know? I mean, obviously you're feeding yourself and you're keeping yourself up, but the majority of your checks is going to the studio? Is that what's going on? Or
yeah. Well, I was paying Ramos. I was paying Ramos for those tracks. So, you know what I'm saying? To help me. So, yeah, and gas and, you know, food and feeding myself. And eventually, you know, I had that girlfriend that I went up staying with. You know what I'm saying? But you know how it is when you're young, you know. You're young, you don't know how to manage a relationship.
No.
You know? No. Especially if you were a young G player like me in San Ho.
Right? So again, let's go back with them Upstairs Records, based out of San Jose, who had Days, which was a hit artist for them, and that kind of put them on the map. Who reaches out to you? Is it one of his guys that worked upstairs at the record shop, or was it John Lopez, the owner upstairs, who reached out to you?
So so that's a good question, because they didn't reach out to me. I reached out to them. And you know how it is. It's like when somebody doesn't know what you're about, you sometimes have to make people know what you're about. You know what I'm saying? Because you know you're cooking. You're in the kitchen cooking shit up. Nobody knows what your product's gonna taste like until you get it out, you know what I'm saying, to the restaurants, you know what I'm saying, to get it out to the masses. And so what it was is that, like I said, I did those demos with Ramos, and so I finished them. And so my goal was, when I heard Days and I was just surprised that Upstairs Records was in my hometown. I was like, so you're talking to some people. Ramos would tell, I think he's the one who told me, these people are from San Jose, bro. And I'm like, nah, no way. So they did a show at Studio 47, and that's when I hit them up.
God, I was like, that name in years, man. Studio 47.
My first gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first gig. But yeah, bro. So I went there, and I caught Mellow Man Ace. I caught Days. I caught Club Nouveau. I caught just a bunch of other groups that were there that night. And I was like the type of dude, bro. This is me. I'm the type of dude where you're gonna know me if I was hungry.
Right.
I was very eager, very determined, and so I made them see my face and hear my voice. And so I sang on the spot to them, you know, acapella. I gave them my track, my CD, or not at that time. It was on cassette tape. I submitted my cassette tape, and I was like, please listen to it. And so
you did like a Boys to Men type of deal when they ran into Michael Bivins. You were like, I'm gonna sing for you acapella. Do you remember what you sang for them acapella?
I really don't. I think it was Just Like the Wind by Peter Fontaine.
Oh wow!
Because I had that track down pat.
I had that badass track. Pat. That's to this day. I still play that song. You know,
that was my shit, man. Yeah. And so I had that song. Like the way I was taught that if you want to be great, you have to follow the greats.
Right.
You have to listen to the greats, and you have to emulate the greats. you know, and all kind of variety of the greats. And so that's what would make who you were uniquely. You know, that's what made me uniquely, because I had a bunch of different variety of spices that I intook, and I emulated, and I had that song down packed so much that actually they thought that I was Peter Fontaine at the time when I was singing.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
So
So yeah.
so here you are. Now, was Precious already written? Was this song that you had in your back pocket, or was this something that they're like, okay, let's get you in the studio, and this is what you came up with?
So no. So what happened was, this is what's up, is that since I submitted them all my music, right? They loved my music. They believed in me. They caught on to me quick, and they wanted to sign me. Well, pretty much overnight they wanted to sign me, but they wanted to have a product first before they actually,
Committed.
because in those days it was like, you know what I'm saying? Put your money where your mouth is, or you ain't real.
Right.
In those days we were all about it. And so, long story short, man, what happened was is that, remember how political shit was back then. See, I was naive and young, so I didn't think about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to get in the studio, record phenomenal music, and just and fly and go. And so what happened was is that they wanted to have ownership and precedence over the music, and executive, right over all the music.
Right.
That's what their thing was. Me, I didn't really give a shit. I just wanted to become a star.
Right.
And I wanted to just get out there. And so I agreed.
Because when you're a kid, you think that, okay, once it's you're in the studio and you're getting it pressed and you're going to get out there, your mind is thinking you're going to start rolling in with all this money, but they don't explain to you how these royalties and how the publishing rights and all this other shit that comes into fruition of what you're signing on to. But I don't want to get so keep going what you're saying.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely correct. It's a political game when you're naive. I'll say it like that. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays it's different, because you're actually your own brand, your own product. You have government over your own, your own brand and your own thing.
Right. You have more control of what you do.
Yeah, control. But back in those days, the record companies, whether it was an independent or a major, they didn't want you to feel that way. They wanted you to feel like you were a slave to their authority. It's that simple as an artist. And but they would still do it like a conniving, wolf.
They would fucking take you out to dinners and shower you with some gifts, and the only way I guess you could describe what a lot of these guys would do back in those times was that they made sure you felt like you needed them, and that they were their fucking they were your safety blanket. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll say it like this. Fast forward to something that the record company owner said to me one time, was that you ain't never gonna be nothing without me. You ain't nothing without me. Bro, at the time, I was so secure with myself that I told myself, just let him tell you that. Just don't say nothing. Let him tell you that. Go along with it. That's fucked up that he's saying that to you. Right. But and that's what kind of like,
firstly saying it to a street kid, who's been through the mill, that comes from San Jose. I mean, okay, but let's go back there. So here we are. You get your stuff in front of them. They get you in the studio.
Yeah.
What's?
Well, let me go back to the beat.
Okay. Yeah, let's go back. That's where I want to go to. Yeah, let's go back to that beat.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what it was is that a producer, a world-renowned producer today, who works with Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, all the big-time hip-hop artists in the business today. His name is Frederick Nassar, who goes by Fred Rec. Okay?
Right.
He was a producer for Upstairs Records at the time that I was introduced to Upstairs Records.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And so, so what it was that since they wanted to make sure that they owned the music, they wanted me to jump on their shit. They wanted me to jump on their music. So what it was is that they showed me a beat. It was Precious. They showed me the Precious beat. They let me hear the Precious beat from Frederick. He's the one. See, Frederick Nassar, he's the one who produced that whole beat. He's the one that produced it.
Got you.
Okay. Everything. I mean, the only thing that I have to do with it is all the melody of the vocals. That's it. All the vocals. That's me. So, but I mean, you know how it is. If you're an artist and you're on a beat, I mean, your vocals are married to that track. That's your song.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
Precious is my song, regardless of who produced it. It's my song. Even though I was a phenomenal producer at the time, you know what I'm saying? At that time, I was fortunate enough to work with a great, to work with somebody who had a dope track already. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what it was. And I didn't have to do nothing. I didn't have to put no energy into making the music. So I was like, all I got to do is write to it. That's right. That's like saying all I got to do is put spoon to mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So here you are. You're putting the words to this phenomenal beat. You're making the track. Where does Gally fit into all of this? Who was the artist to do Forgive Me Girl, and it was also based out of San Jose at the time.
Yeah, man. So I was so overwhelmed too, because the amazing freestyle artists that they had in those days that were on that label, I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna smash up on this record company because of the simple fact that, and I admit I was kind of a little arrogant about it, because I knew they couldn't fuck with me except for Gally. He was the only one. And I was like, but I get to work alongside Gally. He's a dope producer. He's a dope writer. He's a dope singer. And man, this is dope. So what it was is that we worked on Precious. I wrote it. I wrote the track. I mean, I wrote the song. And, there's a long story behind the length of how long it took for me to actually record it, because I'm a perfectionist,
right?
So I wanted to have it down packed to where they didn't have to do nothing but press the record button. That's it.
Gotcha.
And no cut-ins, none of that shit. It was just
one take, record, one take, ready to go. That's what you wanted to do.
Exactly, and that's pretty much what it was. Other than some editing they did, and that's about it. But so I got the song down packed, and I pushed them to get it recorded, but I took so long in terms of getting it down packed the way I wanted it. And so by that time it was about, I want to say, 2 weeks before we actually recorded it.
And so when you're recording it, though, really quick, when you record, was it in upstairs, or did you guys go to an outsource?
No, we went to MC Hammer. I don't know if you remember MC Hammer back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay. So MC Hammer, real famous, hip hop artist. He has a Can't Touch This track. So anyway, we went to MC Hammer's studio to record it in Alameda, California.
Okay. Alameda. Oh wow.
So yeah. So I recorded it there. A lot of famous. Actually, it was Michael Denton is the one who that's his studio, but that was MC Hammer's studio. He recorded all the shit. That's where he recorded Can't Touch This and everything. So yeah, long story short, we went there to record Precious. And so, like I said, man, it was just, okay, go ahead and click the button, record me, let's do this. Yeah, man. So I remember I was up all night too. It was hard for me the night before because, man, my voice is stressing. I apologize.
No worries.
I drink too much coffee, man. And sometimes when I drink too much coffee,
it dries you up.
It gets my throat.
Yeah.
So long story short, I stayed up all night that night before, man, because my wheels were turning. But I was so young and energetic at that time, like I was a beast with the energy. So it really didn't affect me, man, that I stayed up all night when I got to the studio. It was like if I got 25 hours of sleep still. You feel me?
So where were you sleeping at? Where were you sleeping at? I mean, in the time of your recording, like where would be your go-to? Go get crash out.
Yeah. So back then, like I said, I had a girlfriend. So I used to stay with my girl.
Okay.
Remember Seven Trees?
Yep.
Rancho Verde?
Yep.
The I want to say, I'm going to keep it real. The niggas used to say, Verdi, El Rancho Verdi.
Yeah, I used to go to Simmondale, man, right across from there. I lived right behind Seven Trees where the drive-ins were at. I was born and raised in downtown, but then we moved over there for a short bit, and I had to go to Simmondale, which we used to call Sivan Jail, right across from...
Yeah, I know. I remember.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Verdi is where I lived.
Okay.
And, you know what I'm saying? That's where I stayed. And so I spent the night there. But actually, like I said, I didn't sleep that night.
Right.
I was in my car. I didn't even want to go back to her because I was like, it was like a boxer, boxer training for a, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to, I'd have sex, none of that. I didn't want to get intimate, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to, concentrate on what I had to do the next day.
Right, because you wanted to make sure that love emotion was making love to that mic. You wanted to make sure that transition to that song. I got it. Yeah.
Precisely. So yeah, and that's what happened, man. And also too, I wouldn't say that I was like this real holy roller type of dude, but I was very spiritual. So I was prayed too, man. I was like, you know what, God help me out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I really want this song to not just be a song. I want it to be, a hit, a smash. And so yeah, man, everything was right. Everything just happened. I hit the bullseye. I knocked it out of the park, bro. So that's how it went down.
So when you did that recording, when you're there in the studio, was Gally there, or did Gally come in behind?
Yeah.
He was there, huh?
Put it this way. I told them Gally better be there.
Oh, wow.
Because the thing about Gally is that, I mean, he's a phenomenal, musical ear, so I needed him there.
Gotcha.
And the record company, knew that he should be there. So, yeah, he was there. And he's the one that actually did a whoa.
Yeah, he did the background, so I remember that.
Yeah, that's Gally. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
I was like, Gally, throw some flavor up on there, bro. You know what I'm saying? So after I did my thing, you know how it is, man. The reason why Precious is so beautiful as well is because when you have dynamic of flavor in a project, especially in music, mainly in music, I like to see it, is that, you have a range, a variety of spice that you can work with. That's, so like they say, two heads are better than one.
Right.
And so with Gally's range and my range, see, I didn't know at the time I can actually go down to Gally's range. Right now I'm stressing my voice, but I can actually sing deep. I can do deep. And so, but at the time I was doing a lot of tenor work, just going high,
right,
trying to go from mid to high. So
Gally was a great impersonator of Elvis because he was such a Elvis fanatic. I remember that.
He was an Elvis. Yeah,
he had the pink Cadillac.
Gally was.
Yep. He had that pink Cadillac. I mean, he had all that. So now he's a pastor, I heard. He's over there like in Center Road or something like that at the Cathedral Faith. I know that he's doing that. And,
that's him. Yep.
Okay, so let's move from there. Let me ask you this: the song comes out. You're at the stop sign. You're like, okay, shit, I've arrived. I finally made it.
Yeah.
How did your dad accept it, bro? Did he come around then? You know what I mean? Going like, okay, hey, you did something. Did he ever give you a pat in the back? I mean, how did your relationship? Did it change or did it stay the same with your father?
You know what? You're asking some phenomenal questions because that's such a great question in terms of my story. Because with my father, man, my dad, see, this is what made me become such a perfectionist and a great musician, is that my dad he would hardly ever give me a pat on the back when it came to my music, because he always wanted me to have that not good enough, it's never good enough type of attitude, because he always knew that I could do better.
Right.
He always tried to bring out the best in what he knew my potential was. He knew what I had, and he didn't want to give me that, like, that pat on the back that could hurt you type of thing.
Right.
Where gets your ego, the best of your ego, and then you become comfortable. He never wanted me to become that. So he was the type of dad that was like, yeah, but you know what? You need to learn your music theory. You got all this talent. You could play music by ear, but if you don't know music by music theory, then you're not a triple threat. You're just a double threat. You're a single threat. You need to become a triple threat. So that's the way my dad was. So when I actually brought in Precious, I finally got that pat in the back, bro. Like you said, man. Yeah, yeah. My dad was like, he cried. He did the whole, Mijo, it's beautiful thing. I love this the song. You did amazing. I'm really proud of you, type of thing. So yeah, he
Did
got
he
my,
end it though? After he said I'm proud of you, did he end it up? Did he end it with now? No, now don't fuck it up, Lorenzo. Don't fuck it up. Make sure you, you know what I mean?
You know what? Actually, this is what happened was that my dad, he was like I said, he was a womanizer. He was always like, with different broads, and even when he was married and he had his chick, he still always had chicks all the time. He was a playboy. So
Yeah.
he was never really like stable in terms of as a family man's per se.
Right.
So I didn't get that the type of
Father advice, right? Like that.
yeah,
Father-son relationship.
He gave me fatherly advice. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But he didn't give me the type of direction that a conventional dad would give a son.
No, I totally get what you mean, bro. Because my dad. Yeah, man, it almost sounds like we're talking about the same fucking guy. My dad's the same way. My dad's been a womanizer for, I mean, even to this day. My old man's in his 70s, bro, and my dad still is like he's still a playboy and he's married and everything, right? But in terms of like giving you that much needed guidance for a young man to be directed in the right path, my old man was, because my dad went to prison, he did the whole shebang, and he was always in and out. He was the Rolling Stone, that man, wherever he put his hat was his home type of deal. He never gave me that. It was more of a, hey, you're gonna learn. You know what I mean? You're gonna learn, bro. If you do it this way, you're gonna learn it. It's up to you. My dad always left everything up to you. And I look back now and I go, it was more of his way of going, I need you out of my hair. I got my own shit. Deal with your shit. Be a man already. Be a man.
You know what? It's crazy because that generation is a selfish ass generation, brother.
It is, brother.
That's exactly what the dads and the fathers were doing at that time. And then my dad, he was 15 years old when I was born.
Gotcha.
So he's only 15 years older than me. So you know what I'm saying? My dad, he was the type of dad that you know what I'm saying? It was him first, then me. You know what I'm saying? Him first, then his kids. So it's like, yeah, man, but he still did his best to try to give me the advice. But it was like you said, it was like push you out of the way, go, dude.
Right.
Do your thing and figure it out on your own type of thing.
Because in a lot of ways, because my dad too was 15 years old or 16 when he had me. In a lot of ways, we don't even look at this now. I'm like, now that we look back, we can look back at it and us having kids and raising our children, right? But you look back, think about this, bro. 15, 16 years old, and they're 25 now, 26, with whatever year they're dealing with us. And even in their early 30s, they're still, they had to put their childhood or teenage years in pause to even learn how to be a man. And that was the only way they knew how to deal with a situation, because it's kind of like a pass me down type of shit. You know what I mean? Like, pass me down clothes, pass me down shoes. But this is pass me down parenting. That's where my dad got it, because he didn't grow up with a father. So his only way to show me he gave a shit was by telling me, man up.
Crazy. Man, I can relate. It's like you're talking about my life too, because let me tell you like this, and I'm gonna keep this real quick and brief, but my dad, he grew up in the 60s and 70s as he was a hippie kid. A hippie cholo. I call him a hippie cholo. That whole Cheech and Chong vibe. That was my dad, bro. So like he was the homeboy smoking weed all the time type of dad until he got a little older and the GQ started to set in a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, bro. That was what I grew up with. So that's I can relate 100%.
So now let's talk about. They're trying to groom you to what they want, right? At that time, they're trying to get you to sign a contract. Now, was this something you looked at? I mean, did you look at the contract? Were you satisfied with it? Or this was just like, hey, I just want to get in there. Like, get me out there already. You know, I've been waiting for my time. You know, I've been living on the streets. I got an old lady. Like, I need my time now. That's what I'm looking for. So you just bypassed everything and you just jumped on a boat and you didn't know whether if it was going to swim or sink. Is that what happened?
So let me go ahead and give you the rundown on the story to that point. So what it was is that basically naivete. Okay, I was real naive. Wait a minute, dude. Okay. Let me tell you like this. I'm diabetic, so I lose my train of thought. Like,
Don't worry.
ask me the question one more time. My bad, but ask it real brief, bro, because that way I can remember what I was gonna say.
Contract. When it was presented, was it ever presented to you what you were going to get and what you knew you were going to get? Or was this something that you just kind of like shrugged it off because you just wanted to get out?
All right. Okay, so let me say it like this. So like I was telling you before this interview, I was the type of dude, I was very trustworthy.
Right.
Very trustworthy. Because I grew up with the street code, the code of ethics, a code of honor. You know what I'm saying? On the street.
Right. So when a handshake meant a handshake. Right,
when a handshake meant a handshake, and your word was your word. You know what I'm saying? One sec, my boys. See what I'm telling you? They're interrupting me, and we're doing a live interview. Don't forget to wear your shit. All right, you got it? Okay. All right. Yeah. So anyway, so it was street code all the way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I trusted people the way I expected to be trusted. I trusted with no type of thought process in my brain that you were going to do me dirty.
Right.
Because you know, you get broken off on the street. You do somebody sideways, you get broken off.
Right.
So, you know, I didn't have to do too much breaking off because I was, you know, one of them type of dudes that you know, you just didn't fuck with because that's how I grew up.
Right.
You know, you don't talk about it, you be about it. Somebody comes up to you, start talking shit, you handle business. It's not about what you're saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You handle it quick, get it over with, and then, you know, nobody's talking shit anymore. So that's basically how I trusted everybody. So with him, it was even more so because I trusted my record company like I trusted my own family, my own father, my own brother. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was like embraced as a son.
Well, so here you are.
Think about
just to add to that, but here you are. You're a young guy, you know, that needed family. So immediately you're looking for that. You're looking for that unity. I mean, you know what I mean? That acceptance. So I completely understand what you know, why you trusted them, because you felt like, hey, look, my best interest is to produce, write songs, get you guys on the map, and give you the best what I have inside of me, so that you guys can put it on wax. So why wouldn't you not trust these guys that are telling you, hey, we can get you from A to B, right?
Exactly. And so with that naive set of mind, because even though that's a street way of thinking, it's still naive. It's very naive because the wise man's way of thinking is wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a wise man's thinking. Mine was you know, do me dirty and it's gonna get violent up in this smoke. You know, that's so stupid because you don't deal with situations aggressively, physically to get shit done. That's just not the way it's done in a professional environment. So I didn't think like that. I thought more like they're not gonna do me dirty. I'm not thinking like that. So when they gave me the contract, the record company owner, the guy that I was doing business with, he told me, it's my fault too, because he told me straight up, he said, go get this looked at. He told me the truth. He said, go get this looked at. Now, mind you,
did he tell you? Wait. Do you really think he told you the truth, or do you think that, not thinking about it now, do you think that he told you that because he knew you weren't going to do it? You're a street kid.
That's exact. You just hit it right, dude. You hit the target, because that's exactly what I was about to say. Was that, mind you, is that I didn't understand the way manipulation was done in business at the time. I didn't understand because I didn't have a wicked heart. I didn't have wicked way of thinking. So I had more of a pure way of thinking. So he took advantage of my purity in that sense. You know, it was like when he said it, I thought to myself, I'm too lazy, first of all, to go try and find a lawyer. And even though I know it's the right thing to do, and besides, why would I do that? This guy's not going to do me dirty.
Yeah, why
He's
would
not going to burn me.
Right. He's from San Jose.
I mean,
He's from San Jose.
yeah.
You know, he's one of us. Why would he do me dirty? Allah comes the fucking almighty dollar. Right?
Exactly, bro. But you know, I'm not big on conspiracy theories. But I'll tell you like this: the Illuminati does exist, and it did exist in those days in terms of the music industry. Okay, and so I believe he was a part of a cabal, bro. He really was, and there's
Really?
a story behind it why I say that. But he was a part of the cabal. He was a part of because his lawyers were Jewish, you know, and it's just it goes way deep with this guy.
Okay, wait.
But,
you gotta bring me in this. You gotta bring us in this. You open up this door. Come on, bro. You can't just put a few toes out in the front. You gotta walk through it now. What are we talking about here? What's going on? What did you see that made you think that this guy's part of that Illuminati?
Well, because his lawyers were from LA, first of all.
Okay.
And back in those days, I mean, they didn't tell you, but back in those days, a lot of the business was handled through, a lot of the major labels were handled by the lawyers that were handling major labels were all Jewish. And those Jewish lawyers were you know, they're part of the cabal. You know, I don't know if you know that. They're connected to, you know, the what do you call those, the Freemasons? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
A lot of that shit. Yeah, and a lot of that shit, and you had a Freemason lodge in San Jose. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
But you have a big Freemason community there, and it was huge. I didn't even know it. And guess where it was at? Guess where it's actually located? It's located right there where the church where Galley, you know.
Oh, at the Cathedral of Faith?
It's right next door. It's right next door.
Wow.
It's up on the hill. It's actually up on the hill. It's hidden.
By that big old cross?
By the cross. It's hidden. It's right in there.
Wow.
It's right there. Yeah.
Hey, that
bro.
always looks spooky too, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Anytime you drive by it on 87, I always had like a chill feeling, like, you know, like why is that building there all by itself, and why is there just a big ass cross there? But I don't know, man.
Yeah. I got a picture. I'm gonna send you. I took a picture with me with the sign flipping it off, basically. But yeah. But anyway, so
not the cross, the building,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, the building. Yeah, of course. The building. Yeah, and what it represents, because I got done dirty with no Vaseline
Right
behind it all. So again, it's like, you know, I know that he was connected to it. I didn't find out about it until later on in the years, but you know, it just has to do with his lawyers and what they were teaching him how to practice his business.
So did you just sign it right there and then, like after he told you, he gave you that speech, like, listen, go ahead and you should go get this contract checked out, and you were like, no, I trust you. Boom, give me the paperwork, and you signed it, or did you take it? And
No, I took it.
Mm-hmm.
I took it. I brought it back about 3 days later.
You didn't think
I was anxious. I was anxious. Nah, man. I was so like excited that I just went and partied and did stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I was young. So, you know, I got distracted. I really forgot about the contract. I brought it back to him and I signed it in front of. We did a
like a photo shoot,
a record. No, yeah, we did a record signing party, a record party signing thing,
right,
at his at the record company, and so that's where I signed it. And yeah, man, I was dumb. I just signed it without thinking about it.
So what was in that? Let's go real quick. What was in the contract that you later find out what you were going to receive?
Well, there was a lot of stuff in that contract that I did not read. I'm going to be honest with you. There was a lot of stuff in that contract that I did not read. I did that speed read type of page thing. I just flipped through the pages real quick.
You just saw,
like,
you would just go to every line that had your name, like, okay, that's name right there. Okay, oh, that right there. Boom, I'm good. That's what you did.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did. And, you know, I mean, as shameful as it is, you know, like I said, chalk it up to being a young, naive, you know, man, I want to say something else, but I'm not going to say it to respect the ladies. But you know what I'm saying? It's because I just wanted to build my fan base with the females,
Right.
and so that's, you know, I knew
The little head took over. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes,
The little head took over at that time for you. Gotcha.
It took over.
Yeah,
it took over, and bro, let me tell you, I can't complain. I had the ride of my life. You know what I'm saying? The ride of my life.
So here you are. You're performing all over the place. Okay, the song is getting just played wherever you go. Like I said, there was no airspace without you hearing Precious. Who let you the raw deal though? Who told you, or did you figure it out? That raw deal that you got.
Oh no, and so let me slow it down just a tad, because what it was is that once I signed, and the song got on the radio, then all of a sudden well, let me go back, because Spanish Fly, I created the name Spanish Fly with my boy Rodney. I don't know if you know. Well, what happened was that once the song was recorded, I thought that they were gonna bust me out as a solo artist. See, that's what I thought.
Right.
And so I changed my name from Ernie Ramos to Lorenzo Ramos, because I didn't like the way Ernie rolled off.
Right.
You know, the way it rolled off, I just didn't like it.
That's right. You know why? You know what? That's right. Because when I met you, it was Ernie. And then when I saw you again, it was Lorenzo. So I used to think that your name was Ernie Lorenzo. That was your last.
Exactly. A lot of people did. A lot of people did.
Now, really quick, because your boy Rodney came into that picture, and bro, you got to admit, that was like, you guys were like the very first. Not you. You were not Milli Vanilli, but he was, because he didn't sing, right? He just danced.
Well, bro, I mean, he's my boy, bro. So I really don't want to. I don't want to I'm not gonna knock him, bro.
No, definitely, it's not a knockdown, but he wasn't singing, right? He had part of it.
I'll just tell you like this: he got training to sing. So yeah, he didn't record on the track itself, but he wasn't fake in terms of his get up, his get down. Mm-hmm. He was always a G. You know what I'm saying? He was always a G. And let me touch on that. Let me touch on that point, because what it was is that, going back to what I was saying about coming out as a solo artist, that's how the record company wanted to control me. Okay? And also, I'm gonna say this is that I'm credited in the local area, even in LA, in terms of being one of the first boy bands as freestyle. So just know that, okay? So that's how our group came out, because of the name Spanish Fly, the whole you know, our whole concept. Right. So what happened is that Rodney, there was nobody else in the group yet. I mean, it wasn't a group yet. It was supposed to be just me as a solo artist. Then they told me that they wanted to come out with a group, and I was pissed, bro. At first, I was like, wait a minute. I worked hard all this time for this track, and you know, I thought you guys were gonna sign me as a solo artist, and now you're throwing it on me that you want me to be a group with Gally. Okay, cool, let's do it. But then Gally was like, he didn't want to do it. Yeah, Gally didn't want to do it. He was like, he basically told me, bro, you know, I got your back. We're boys, but you know what I'm saying. But I can't do it because John's not going to take care.
Right, he had his own.
But he also knew that John wasn't going to take care of him. So that's the real reason why he didn't want to do it. And so I was stuck. Because at that time, I was stuck between them having control over me, because they had already, you know, spent money on me. And you know what I'm saying? They were like using that. They were using that to you know, manipulate my like I said, my pure mind, the way of thinking. Right. So they made me feel like I owed them something more than they owed me at the time.
That's it. Yeah.
So I felt a little bit, you know, like that, and so I said, all right, well, let's do a group then, I guess, if that's what you guys want to do. So then, but I said, but this shit better be dope. This shit's gonna be dope, or you know what I'm saying, or you guys are gonna just have to put me out solo no matter what.
Right.
And so John Lopez, he told me, we had a little meeting. He goes, I got an idea. He said, I got a friend. I got a young friend. He's cool, and he's really good looking. And you guys would be the perfect match. So because I was the morenito and he was the güerito, you know, he was the I was the dark guy, he was the lighter guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so the white boy and the Mexican, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's how our concept came out. It was like he came to me, I met him. Me actually, I knew Rodney before because we went to YB together. Let me real quick, let me back up.
Go ahead.
I knew Rodney and his brother from YB because Yerba Buena, because I went to that school at my freshman year, and I was a break dancer. I had a group called Street Rock, and you know they knew me as my street rock name. My breaking name was Gizmo.
Yes. That's great.
Go figure. So I met Rodney in high school, and then when I met up with him in Upstairs Records, I didn't know it was him, and then I knew it, and I was like, "Yup, he's perfect for this because it's all about the girls for me."
Right.
At the time, I was like, "Yup, this is all about the girls." So he's perfect for us to do a boy band. So let's do this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what basically happened. And so, but I had to train him. I had to train him on everything, bro. On the vocals, you know, how to sing and how to dance. We you know, I taught him all the choreography, everything. So that's what happened.
So here we are. Here you are. You're doing all this stuff. You got this group going. Spanish Fly is doing what they're supposed to do. You're signed. Who?
Oh wait. Let me go back to the name. So he comes in, and it was perfect. We hit it off, and then we were like, but we have to come up with the name. And so I said, because they even came up with Legacy, the name Legacy. They came up with all kinds of names. And me and Rodney, almost at the exact same time, both of us, we said, what about Spanish Fly? And I don't remember exactly if I said it, he said it first, or we both said it at the same time. All I know is that when it was said between us two, it clicked so perfect. It was like, yes. So we bought. That's why I won't ever like, you know, step on Rodney's toes because he's my boy, man.
Yeah, he contributed to it, and yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we both created that name, and so we're both, you know, I claim him as much as me, 50-50, 100-100 in terms of the intellectual property brand of the real. And like you said, you don't even have to put the real,
right?
But the name Spanish Fly, that's me, bro.
So did Rodney know about did they give Rodney the same deal they gave you, or you guys had two separate contracts?
We had two separate deals. Two separate deals. Rodney didn't even have a contract. I'll just put it to you that way.
So what was he guaranteed?
Well, actually, I take it back. Rodney did have a contract, but it was stipulated, and I made sure that back then I was at least this smart. I stipulated that I did not want Rodney to have the same rights or the same, you know, pay in terms of the shows or anything when it came to, you know, that the contract, because I'm the work behind and the voice behind Spanish Fly. So, you know, he was there to just be the group and the fill up in terms of our brand, and that was it.
So what did you get? What did you get out of the deal? What was your part that you were gonna that you received?
Well, this is what happened. So since I didn't look at my contract, John Lopez went behind my back because John Lopez claims, he always says it, and he said it back then. He goes, because he actually he goes, I want you to write a song called Precious. This is exactly what happened. I want you to write a song called Precious on that track. He goes, because that name right there, Bobby Bahines of Days. Remember Bobby Bahines of Days? Okay. Yeah. Bobby Bahines of Days was supposedly, bro, supposed to be the guy who started, you know, writing something to Precious.
Okay.
Never met him. I never met him. I seen him at the show that one time, but I never met him. Like we never had no phone call contact. We never talked amongst each other. I never met him. So all that I had in my head was that he wanted me to write a song called Precious. That's it. And so that's basically how, when Precious was written, when it was done, then he comes out and says, but I have to give Bobby Bahines credit on that track. So what he did, but behind my back, because he had said that, was he had went behind my back and on ASCAP, he gave Bobby Behemoth the ASCAP rider royalties for Precious. Dude, he did me fucking dirty, bro.
Oh,
He did me fucking dirty. And then when it came to the actual vinyl, the wax, he put Bobby's name as the writer on there. And guess what? I'm supposedly the co-writer of that song.
damn.
Go figure, bro. So he did me dirty, and all this, I found out when UPS brought the boxes of the vinyl to the record company.
So open it up and bang, you see this Bobby's name on there.
Yeah. So that's when the first red flag. My heart was broken. That's when because like I said, I mean, I grew up streetwise, so flags went off in my dome and in my heart, bro. That these people weren't out for me.
Let me ask you, what did he say? I mean, because you open it up, you see this name. Did you immediately confront him, or was this something that you talked with Rodney first, or whoever was around you?
I immediately confronted him.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't nobody else. It was me and John Lopez in the office, in the corner of the office. And dude, I was like, twice this happened. I was like Ice Cube in you know what I'm saying, in that Compton movie,
right?
You know what I'm saying, straight out of Compton. I was like that, bro. I was like, yo, what the fuck, bro? How are you gonna do me like that? Because that's when I started to awaken, right, to the beast. It's like, what the fuck is really going on here? How is it that I worked so hard on this track? I write this song. We record it. We put it out. I'm supposed to be I'm under, and the impression that they were gonna release me as a solo artist,
right?
And then now we're a group, and all this stuff is coming out, and then, bro, that's just shit got set off, bro. It got set off like I started to become known as they did. This is why I say they're part of the Illuminati, because what the Illuminati does is that they try to defame your character in order to blackball you, and that's what they try to do. That's how they do you dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so that's what John Lopez did with me. It was like, oh, he's hard to work with, guys. Let's be careful with Lorenzo. Like, they started to try to put that across my forehead. They started to try to, brand me like that, bro. And,
like you were nuts. You were crazy. You're the crazy one.
Yeah, I'm the crazy guy. I'm the crazy one. Case, go wash your hands, bro. So yeah. Go ahead.
So here we are. When did the relationship finally dissolve? When did you finally say, I had enough? I got to get out of here? Or was it them that pushed you out finally? You know what I mean?
No. Well, that's a fast forward. I mean, you're fast forwarding.
Okay.
Because basically what it was is that once that all transpired in terms of, when the records came in, when the box of records came in and that all happened, and then I got pissed, John tried to do that silence me, steadily type of thing, like let me calm him down first, and then, work on on distracting him from what really happened in the background type of thing.
Right. So he put you on ice. So what did he tell you that you were like, okay, I'm going to give you a second chance? Like what you know what I mean? Like what was said to you that you thought, okay, he's going to fix it. He's going to make things right.
Oh, okay. So he was yeah, Lorenzo, don't worry. You are Spanish Fly. This is your group, and you get all the shows. And he didn't talk nothing about royalties, bro. So at that time I was pissed, and I was just trying to come up with a plan to figure out. What he did do was he goes, look, on your next song, everything's gonna be different. It's gonna be right. So don't worry. We got to work on a new song anyway. So, because I needed a follow-up track anyway, because it was a hit. So we needed a Spanish Fly follow-up track. So we did that. We went to record in Hollywood, California, at the day Tupac was there, and he was recording All Eyes on Me in Echo Sound Studio in Hollywood. And we were recording a song called not Angel. It was called Spanish Eyes. It was called Spanish Eyes.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It came out, right?
Yeah. Spanish eyes, don't look away. Spanish eyes, I need you today. Spanish eyes, I need you now. Spanish eyes, you'll be mine somehow.
Yeah, man.
That track right there, bro.
Hey, almost got it, bro. Yeah, I remember that. Hell yeah, brother.
That track was a hit, but they did me dirty again. They did me dirty again, bro. Hold on 1 second. I got noise in the background.
No worries.
I'm doing a live interview. I need the noise down, guys. So, long story short, man. Yeah, they did me dirty again, bro. Is that when the song was completed at Echo Sound Studio? That needs to be washed. Oh, okay. So when that song was done, when I came back from Hollywood, bro, something happened to that track. They told me that the track got erased by the engineer by accident.
Yeah.
Even though there was a DAT recording, there was a DAT record of it. There's a DAT cassette of it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, there's a cassette of it because I used to go and perform that song. I used to perform that song everywhere. So even though there was a DAT recording of it, somehow the master got
screwed.
Something happened to it. So that was another thing they did. They stabbed me in the back with. And yeah, bro. So what happened is we had did a major concert in at San Jose University.
Okay.
Remember that big old auditorium they have at San Jose University?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All the greats were there. I mean, Nia Peoples was there. Howard Hewitt was there.
Matches there too.
Yeah, bro. I mean, everybody and all the famous greats were there. This concert that we had did, and this is what set it off. Like this was the camel that
broke the back.
The straw that broke the camel's back was that because I had already toured everywhere. We had already toured for a lot of different places. You know, Texas. We went to Texas. We went to Miami. We went to like just a lot of different places, and with Precious. And so I would say about 8 months later, it was about 8 months later, when this big concert was thrown, this is what, did it, was that we did that show, bro, and I had such a phenomenal following in terms of newspapers were there. Everybody was there. It was a red carpet event afterwards. And, that same very night, I had gotten that like that.
Yeah.
That Spanish fly. Okay. I had received from Hot 97.7. I don't know if you remember this. But I had received an award for the greatest, hottest freestyle artist, new artist of the year award.
Oh wow.
For that. It was a gold plaque, bro. And MC Hammer was the one that hosted it and presented it to us. And so man, there's a story behind where that went too, but it's sad. It has to do with the girlfriend destroying it.
Oh.
Trying to destroy my dreams.
So before we go on, let me ask you this real quick. Let's just go back really quick, and then we'll go back to this subject. But so the lyrics of Precious, so was this about a particular person? Because I mean, bro, you were Daddy's little girl. That was like, that hit home for a lot of homeboys. You know what I mean? Like, we were like, damn, man. Like, yeah, I know where you're coming from, bro. I know where you're coming from. So where did you come up with those words, bro, for that song?
It's about, well, bro, I mean, the truth is that it's about an ex-wife, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And you know how it is. I mean, you got love in your life, and that's the greatest way to write songs. You know, your experiences is what creates great content for great songs. And so, yeah, it was about that. I really don't want to get too far into that, but
no worries.
It was about that, you know what I'm saying? And about her, and You know, it's a long story with that said, bro.
I mean, there was some,
So
you know, for my listeners, if you, I know a lot of guys, because some of the folks that are not, I got a lot of like England listeners. If you've never listened to
yeah,
the song, go listen to the song. The words, honestly, are if you've ever been in a relationship, in a trying relationship, the words will let you go like, oh shit, I know what this guy's going. I'm going through it. You know what I mean? But let's go back. Okay, so this big old concert, and this is the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay, so what happened after that?
so then when I came, what happened was it was crazy because I was already famous in San Jose, like in terms of the surrounding areas, San Francisco, LA.
Right.
I was already like everybody knew who I was as Lorenzo Ramos back then with Spanish Fly. This is what's crazy because your fame, you can have fame, but overnight you can lose it like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of like what happened to me. But there's some crazy stuff because when that happened, with that concert, I was supposed to get paid and for the concert, and I forgot what it was. It was like 2 racks, I think it was, that I was supposed to get paid for that show, and I didn't get paid. And so what happened was is that we partied that night, but I had to go back home, and I didn't have no money. So I didn't have not $1 in my pocket, bro. So what happened was is that I had to take the bus. I had to take the local transit, the shame train. We used to call it the shame train.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The 22, baby. You remember the 22? and that stopped directly right at the Upstairs Records doorstep.
Right.
So it was like, what's crazy is that I took that bus to Upstairs Records, and back then, the song was so popular and famous that you would hear people bumping my song as I'm walking on the sidewalk, on the street. I have multiple cars jamming my track.
Right.
You hear my track being bumped in every system. So that's what happened. I'm getting off the shame train, and I hear my song being played out on one car.
That's
brutal. And check this out. And a fan, I think he went to my concert because the fan was like, "Hey, there's Lorenzo." And I'm getting off the bus as that's happening. Go figure, bro. I'm getting off the bus, bro. So when you say shame train, all right, we're talking shame train. You know what I'm saying? That's the literal example.
There's no way disguising that as a long fucking limousine. That's the shame train.
Right.
That's brutal.
So it sparked me. It triggered me. It triggered an anger in me. It set me off, bro.
Well, yeah, you got the hottest song playing in the Bay. San Francisco, Miami, Texas, and you're getting off the transit. The hottest song, hottest artist around right now for freestyle music. It's getting airplay all over the place, and you got a shitload of girls trying to get at you. And you're getting off transit while everybody else is driving something nice. You got Gally driving a pink Cadillac at that time. What kind of shit was that?
Yeah, bro. So that's what set me off. And again, the second time I went up to Upstairs Records. This is the last time I went up to Upstairs Records, bro. And this is how we had our falling out. Because there was rumors going around that that I was soft because I let Upstairs Records do me with no Vaseline, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So all those things that were said to me, and then that happening to me, it just triggered me, bro. So I went up to Upstairs Records. I went up to John, and I was like, dude, I go, what the fuck? And I slammed my hand down on his desk, and I'm like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? What? Why are you doing me like this, bro? Where's my money, bro? Because at first I gave him the benefit of the doubt to give me the money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because what it was that he was handling my shows and handling my A&R and he was handling my every, conflict of interest, basically.
With all the whole cookie jar to himself. That's what he had.
Exactly, bro. So I was kind of like, dude, I already, I paid you off. Dude, I paid you off long. My first show, I paid your ass off. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, I didn't, I wasn't going to take it no more.
Right.
Because I mean, 2 racks missing from my pocket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like nothing. And that wasn't the first 2 racks. That was like probably like 4 or 5 times that I didn't get paid for shows. So then, that's what happened. And I was a hothead. I admit it. I was young, stupid, not being able, now realizing that dude.
Well, what does he say? I mean, let's not get off that. What did he say? You come in there, you slam your hands on his desk. I mean, did this guy was he emotionalist to your situation, or did he try to give you another story to try to keep stringing you along?
Yeah, he just basically did like you said, he did that call work on me. You know what I'm saying? Tried to chill me. You know what I'm saying? So it was like he tried it again, and I was like not having it, and I was like, this is it, bro. I was like, this is it. You don't got my money. What do you want me to do?
Right.
I go, you know what? I go, because I was stupid, not thinking at the time. I was emotional, and young and stupid, and trying to think I was a gangster. Which I mean, anybody could be a gangster, but not everybody can be a boss. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference.
Right.
So it was like, so I didn't think like a boss. I thought like a gangster, and I was like, you know what? This is it, man. John, either pay me or what I'm saying, I'm coming after you, bro. This shit's gonna get ugly. And John was professional about it. He goes, he just said, I'll have your money, but I don't have it right now. So whatever, Well, I don't remember exactly word for word.
Right.
But it was somewhere along the lines of brushing me off.
Right.
And I you know how it is when you leave a situation with something unfinished, no closure. It wasn't handled. And
right.
So I left with this burden on my back, like I'm the punk. I was the punk. And so I told the dude, I go, you know what? I go, I'm done with the record company. I'm not done with the group. So you better find somebody to handle the group. But I'm done with the record company. So I didn't even know that you could do that. In those days you could, but I didn't know that. I just said it and I was right. But so what he did was he did even more dirty shit behind that. You know what he did?
Oh,
he hired 2 Milli Vanillis to portray me and Rodney to be Spanish Fly, and that's where they came up with SF Spanish Fly. And that's why I have such a big problem with you know who.
So before we go, okay, so you leave. Okay. Did he even give you any money after that? Did he ever reach out and try to mend this? Or was this, hey, just get him out of our hair now. We're done. I'm done with him. He's done with us, blah, 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 type of deal?
Nah, bro. So what it was is that I tried to correspond with him, because he had got the word out. See, I didn't tell you all this. There's way more to the story, but he had hired a lot of henchmen for the record company. That's why I tell you that's how the Illuminati works.
I heard you know what? So that was going to lead my next question, because so this was the rumor, and the rumor was that after that happened, two things that was said, and maybe this was part of the defaming, but the first one was that you robbed them, that you went in there and you stole all their equipment. That was the first rumor. And the second rumor was that you were on the run, that they were looking for you.
Yeah, those actually aren't rumors. Those are actually both things that actually happened, but I didn't rob them.
Okay.
I took what was owed to me.
Gotcha.
You feel me?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, you owe me money. Those
aren't rumors. That's actually true. That's what happened. When I left, I didn't mean to leave that detail out, but it's a part of it. But it actually happened afterwards, because I have people too in San Jose that were looking out for me,
right.
And they were telling me, well, they got this new equipment, so you know that's where they have it at. So I was like, well, let's go handle business.
Right.
I was stupid. I was like, John owes me. He owes me big time. He at that time he owed me like 8 racks or something like that. I forget.
I
was. Yeah, probably. Oh no. In terms of shows, he owed me about 8 racks.
Right.
But in terms of royalties, well, he probably owes me like 2 million. Who knows?
Right.
But So that's where, that came in, and I said, well, hey, this is kind of going to compensate something.
Right.
So, I mean, the equipment was only worth maybe less than a G. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I took off with it.
So let me ask you this: were there people there? Was the space occupied with with somebody, or was this like you guys knew there was not going to be anybody there, so it was going to be no harm? You're just going to go in there, grab it, and leave.
No, well, what it was is that I was kind of staying there, so I had a key. This was before.
That's what I heard.
This was before it all happened. I had a key, so I just I opened it up and saw it there, and I took advantage of the situation because I mean that's my mindset at the time. Revenge. How am I going to get my revenge?
Yeah,
this is how I'm going to get my revenge. So that's basically what it was, dude. I took off with it. I jammed out to Modesto, California, and then I jammed to Fresno, California, and I was just like everywhere. LA, like trying to do music, and I was, but
so you were really on the run. You went on the run, right?
I didn't go. No, it wasn't that I was on the run. I was basically like how would I say it? Like still with the equipment, but in my head, I'm thinking to myself, is that this is my shit.
Right.
This is my shit. They're gonna have to come to me to get it. That's basically how my mind frame was,
Right.
And so what happened is that I wasn't on the run because I have people in LA that wanted to take care of me and do music with me.
Right.
So long story short, I stayed out there. I got a phone call and somebody told me that not Rodney, John Lopez called the cops on you. Now I was laughing. I go, he's gonna call the cops on me for something that he owes me for? Oh, okay, real pretty. But I found out later that wasn't true. That was just a play to get me to come back to San Jose and bring back equipment. So that's what I did. I went back up to Upstairs Records with balls in my hand, and I was like, so I took your fucking equipment. Now where's my money? Here's your shit. Where's my money?
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. And John Steele, this is what he told me. He goes, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $300 right now, and then you get a lawyer and we'll talk about the rest.
Wow.
So he paid me off 3 bills.
Right.
3 hundos, but that wasn't, dude. That didn't do it at the time because I needed the money.
Right.
I accepted it.
Right.
But it still wasn't enough, and so that's the story right there, bro.
Damn. Okay, so now you're out of Upstairs. Where are you at when you find out that he picked up 2 new guys, Octaviano and is it Milo or Milo? Milo, I think it is, right? And Milo is portraying you, right? Yeah, he's portraying you, and Octaviano's portraying Rodney. What happened to Rodney? Why did they exile Rodney if he had nothing to do with this?
Because Rodney wanted to start his own record company, and that's what he did, Amigo Records.
Oh,
he started Amigo. Yeah, he started Amigo Records, bro. And that's how Johnny Z, short, tall, skinny, black guys, even y'all with the big eyes. Remember that?
Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was Rodney. Wow.
Yeah, that's Rodney's product.
Okay.
So that's basically what happened is that my phone's gonna die, bro. So I'm gonna plug it in real quick.
Go ahead.
So you know how shit rolls down, bro. It's like
I mean, it had to piss you off, though. I mean, here you see these guys, jumping on the song that you put your heart in, that got you on the map, right? And then Upstart Records does an album for them, and then their claim to fame was really kind of doing a remake of what is it, Crimsons and Clover, right? And then you see them doing like television interviews, and I mean they try to. What I saw, because listen, I know Octaviano. I actually was recording out of the same studio Octaviano and Milo were recording out of. When they did the whole album for that San Francisco, I was in that studio after dark. Okay, and I had known Octaviano way before that, and I know that they were trying to do. And I remember Milo didn't like me because I was so brutally honest. I remember when that song "Treasure of My Heart." I was like, that sounds way too much like Precious. That's all I said.
Yeah.
That's all I said. It was like, this sounds way too much like Precious, man. And they didn't like that. They're like, oh, no, different song, different song. But to me, that song never took off the ground the way Precious did. But going back to my question to you, you know, did seeing that happen, was there like any point where you got depressed, or did you just get more angry about the situation?
Well, let me tell you like this. And this interview is going to get really deep right now, bro.
Go ahead, brother.
I don't know how much time you have, brother, but I'm just going to try to keep it as short and simple.
We got all the time, man. This is all you right now. I told you before we came on, you know, to do the conducting. I said it's all about you, man. Go ahead. I want to hear this.
Okay. So what happened is that I was one big guy, man. I was one guy that was big on not ever doing drugs, ever. Like I was the guy that knew that, you know, you don't get high on your own supply.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Like I was that guy, you know, and, but, you know, I don't know what it was, but because I got thrown off my game because of that whole thing, man, you know, I ended up with the fucking drug problem, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ended up doing drugs because I used that as a gateway to, you know, get my mind off of the situation of people, because I had a big not an ego, but a big confidence about myself. You know, I had dignity, bro. You know what I'm saying? And when that happened, it made me feel like I was a clown, because that's how they made me feel. Like you know, Lorenzo was a clown. That's why we did him like that. You know, and at the time, they used everything politically to shut me up in a political sense in the industry, bro, to blackball me, to try to get me out of the way. That's where all this comes from. All the cover up, the hiding of who's really the real Spanish Fly. You know how John Milo Pro became the my face, and how Satan is so keen and cunning, how he was able to, I say Satan, but because how they were able to find almost an identical lookalike to me. Right. Not only with my face, but on the vocals. The vocals weren't as good. I mean, of course, we know they weren't as good as mine, but at the time, they could pull it off in terms of like the fakeness. So they went out and they had a bunch of shows already lined up when I left. Right. We had like 10 shows lined up, bro. I left till like 10 shows, dude, on the table. So they were like, that's money left on the table. So to them, they were like, well, how are we gonna keep this money? So that's how they did it. They found Milo to you know, impersonate Precious. So they went out and sang Precious without me for like, dude, a year and a half.
I was gonna say, yeah. You ever think about this? Do you ever think about like, man, if this would have happened like now, do you think they could have gotten away with it with the social media, the Instagram, the Twitter, Facebook? You think I don't think they would have been able to get away with that shit. You know what I mean?
Fuck no, bro. That's just it's see, social media and the internet changed the whole game. Right. You know what I'm saying? It changed it all. And because what happened was it became an awareness type of thing, where the world shrank and it became smaller. So now all these conspiracies and all these things, that these plots to do people dirty are being exposed. Right. And so that's what this is all about, bro. But still what happens is that because freestyle is such a small community, right? Freestyle is such an underground type of music. Right. It's not mainstream. Freestyle, like, you know, it's a genre back then. Right. It's like you still got the fans that don't know the truth, and those are the fans that worship. Those are the fans that worship the fake guy that has ridden off my coattails from the origin that I created, my brand of origin of Spanish Fly. You feel me? Right. And that's what I have a big problem with, and everybody kisses this fool's ass. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dude, you were there, bro. Yeah. You know the truth, bro. You know who's who and what's what. Yeah. I remember. Let me tell you what
you know, what I know of the guys, okay? I've never had a problem with any one of the guys, but when I remember when them coming into, I remember my producer at the time, which was Armando Rosales, had told me about the project. He's like, hey, Octaviano got picked up to in this group called Spanish Fly, and I was like, Spanish Fly? I go, oh, bro, I know the lead singer from Spanish Fly. I go, that group broke up already. And he goes, no, they're going to redo it. They had signed, what was it, like Virgin Records? I think they upstairs did a signing with
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, there you go.
Warner Brothers.
Right, and they were like, yeah, they're going to do all this. And Octaviano was not a high energy singer. He was not a freestyle singer. This was a guy that was trying to break into the pop R&B genre. Okay, and Octaviano was a phenomenal acapella singer. He was not a lead vocalist. You know what I mean? Like, the guy did great background. That's where his strong suit was at. So I remember there was such conflict, not just because of the name, because Octaviano, if I remember, and I could be quoting you wrong, Octaviano, if you watch this interview and all that, the show. But I remember him not happy having the name, and I also remember him not happy doing high energy songs. That's why they went off the kind of the grid to do Crimsons and Clover. It was because of,
bro.
No.
Let me. I don't mean to.
Go ahead.
I don't. Not with all due respect, I'll just say it like this: is that no, that concept with going off the grid is my concept, bro.
Oh.
Because what it was is that see, that's how come Precious sounds different. Because Precious, even though Frederick recorded it, I had him design Precious a certain way. See, I was always taught in music, especially when it came to pop music and it came to mainstream music, is that the hook and the chorus is very important in terms of the style of it.
Right.
The brighter it is,
mm-hmm.
the more radio friendly it is.
Right.
And so that's what I was taught. So I told John Lopez, I go, freestyle, we're gonna do freestyle, but we need to go off the grid of freestyle, and I want to introduce more radio friendly Latino style of pop integrated into this genre show. So what I forgot to tell you this. So I had wrote another song. I wrote three songs before I left. One is Believe in Me, Light a Candle, and Spanish Eyes, like I was telling you.
Right.
Okay. Those three songs, but Spanish Eyes didn't get on the album. But Believe in Me, you can go on YouTube, and my name, Ernie Ramos, as the writer, is on there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Light a Candle. Listen to those tracks. That's proof right there that I'm the guy that introduced pop into it, because when I left, they only had those songs from me.
So that went on their album, right?
Yes, bro.
That sounds so familiar, man. That sounds
yeah, bro. Look it up. Light a Candle by Spanish Fly, Believe in Me by Spanish Fly. Those are my songs. I wrote those songs with the music, melodies, and everything. Okay. Now, so when they came in, they were like, man, Lorenzo, because I mean, again, not to sound like I'm patting myself on, egotistical or cocky, but I knew I was shit when it came to that, because John Lopez at that point, before I left, before he didn't want to come to me for musical advice. Right before I left, I was the go-to guy to come to in terms of music advice, in terms of where the direction to go in and what the concept, they wanted to do with all the groups that they had. And I told him, dude, you want to make money? Pop style music is the way to go, because John Cicada was my guy. John Cicada was the guy that, like, in those days, and that's what Believe in Me was, that was inspired. That Believe in Me track was inspired by John Cicada. Just Another Day Without You.
Yeah.
That song, I used to have that song down pat.
Morning.
So exactly, right? His opera style of singing. So
beautiful.
Yeah, but it was Latin, but it was urban.
Right.
But at the same time, it was radio friendly. It was pop.
Right.
So that's what how come they went in that direction with Spanish Fly, because I fucking was adamant to John Lopez about the direction of Spanish Fly was going. and that's exactly what happened, bro.
That had to be killing you, man. So did you ever meet the guys? Did you ever meet like that?
Yeah.
You did, huh? And how did that play out?
So this is what happened is that before I left, I didn't know that. I don't know exactly how this happened, but I didn't know that Octaviano and Milo, like, they threw me off, bro. They threw me off big time because they had him in the studio right before I left. Not Octaviano. Okay, let me go back.
Yeah, Milo. Yeah, because I know Milo was good friends with John Lopez, right?
Yeah, let me go back because Octaviano wasn't in the picture yet.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's the real truth. I hope you understand is that I hope Octaviano catches this video because he wasn't. His vocals are none of the tracks, the hit tracks off of Anything You Want album.
No.
None of his vocals, none of his background vocals.
Right. His vocals were.
That's all Gally. That's all Gally and Milo. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all Gally and Milo. So I don't know if Octaviano was training at that time to do stuff or whatever, but anything recorded for Warner Brothers, Octaviano wasn't on. So that's where I have another big problem with, is because this dude they hired just for the Milli Vanilli effect, and then now he's going to represent as a lead singer of Spanish Fly. What song did you record, bro?
Well, I know that's that album. I know, right? I know that album.
And then he disrespects, and then comes out with "Treasure of My Heart" again in 2019.
Did he? I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
That song sounds so shitty, bro. It sounds so shitty. His vocals sound so shitty, bro. It's just it's like it's a disrespect to the classic of the track. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So why he did that is political, because that's what I'm trying to tell you. Because once you get blackballed, then when they try to blackball me, they try to deceive all the fans. So to get me out of the picture, so people would stop asking questions as to where's Lorenzo,
right?
Because everybody was asking where's Lorenzo when I left. You remember? they would get tomatoes thrown at them, bro, at shows in the beginning, because they were singing my song, and people knew that they were singing over Lorenzo's voice, and they would get I would get fans calling me and telling me, you need to go to this show. They're singing your song, bro.
Well, I you know what? I'm gonna tell you, I never saw them. I didn't go see them. You know what I mean? When they would perform, I know that Octaviano came on after because Milo knew him, and that's how he came into the picture. They knew each other, and he asked them and stuff. And I was there when they were recording songs for that album, but the Heinergy cuts. I'm not sure if he was, but I know he was doing a lot of the pop ones. Now, Octaviano, like I said before, is a phenomenal artist in his own right. But he will even say, I am not a lead singer. He's always been more of a guy in the back, but he always wanted
a cover band. He's a cover band singer.
Yeah, and he's great. I mean, bro, if you ever hear his harmonies, the guy's phenomenal. I mean, the guy could do Boys the Men harmonies and stuff, but to be like the strong up front guy, the front man guy. I don't know anymore if he can. I mean, because at that time in the 90s, in the early 90s, his vocal range didn't even get there. You know what I mean?
It didn't match. Right. It didn't match to the professionalism of the industry.
Even Milo's voice, man. He did not have a very strong voice. It was more, okay, like now you got a lot of guys that are singing with the auto tune. Well, back then they would dub your voice numerous times, and he may say that didn't happen. But when I used to hear this guy sing live in front of me, and my voice is just really strong, my vocals were real. I was singing R&B at the time, so when he would sing and he would try to sing like an R&B cut. It was like, no, bro, just stick to what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, just try to do the other stuff, And so he was another guy, but I mean, they pulled it off. I mean, you got to admit, they were able to get some buzz because they did that
You know
commercial.
what? Listen, bro.
Right.
Listen, they pulled it off under the proviso and the direction of Galley. That's why, bro. Because Galley, he's a real musician and a real, singer in terms of because we know Galley's talent. So Galley at the time, bro, he was like he was like the teacher.
He's the
You know what I'm
who's the
saying?
mastermind behind it, you know?
Yeah, he was the
Yeah.
mastermind behind
And
it.
then they had a great engineer, which was Armando, the owner of After Dark Studios in San Francisco. Armando was a phenomenal engineer and also a producer. He was a phenomenal producer who he was able to put in some of the instruments live and stuff. But so let me go back real quick. Let's go back real quick. So you run into them. Not before. Let's say after. Okay, now now they took the image of Spanish Fly. What was that like, man? How awkward was that?
Bro, you don't want to know, bro. Because if you really want to know, bro,
I want to know, bro.
by that time, I started to get into hip hop. Let me tell you like this: I started to get back into hip hop because, again, not to sound arrogant, but my range is very wide in terms of, my artism, what I can do in terms of the style and genres. I can hit pretty much every genre you can think of. I mean, we're talking house. We're talking pop, we're talking rock, heavy metal. You know what I'm saying? Like I can do pretty much anything with music. So
right.
At that time, dude. Wait, what were we talking about? I did it to you.
You're running into them. You ran into them second time, huh?
Oh, my bad. So by the time I ran into them, I was like doing hip hop, but I was a gangster motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want my kids around, so I'm trying to keep my cuss words to a minimum. But I was gangster, bro.
Right.
I was like, at that time, my mindset was, and then I was, like I told you what I got into. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like my whole mindset had changed. Like I was thugging it. I had already met Tupac. Like I was thugging it, bro. So the whole freestyle thing to me was like dead already. This was already like 96. This is like 95, 96. You know what I'm saying?
This is so wait, you met Tupac. How did that go? First off, forget everything else now. You just made me have to stop, bro.
Nah, bro. I'm not trying to name drop.
But hey, you name dropped. You gotta let me know, man. Come on.
I did that by accident. Let's keep to the script. But I'll get into that later. But no, so when I finally met up to them, I was already like I would sabotage their shows. I would go to their shows and I would be right in the center, be at the show looking at them like, when you get off this motherfucker, I'm gonna fuck you up. That's how I was like. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'd be like, I can't wait. Come on, let's do this. And then I would have security spot me. Somebody would spot me from security or find out that it was there from the record company or the group management, or somebody would find out, and then they would get me before I could get to them, bro. Because I was always on a mission to fuck them up. Boom.
They weren't street guys. They weren't street guys. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? I mean, you know that too. They weren't street guys. So you had to have them shook for a minute.
There's a reason why they're from San Francisco, bro. I mean, there's a reason why. So yeah, they're not street. But anyway, but yeah, that's what transpired, bro. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, I was angry because of what they did to me, bro.
Yeah.
And Milo knew about it, and Octavio now throws it in my face instead of keeping it real and telling the fans, you know what, guys, I'm not really the real Spanish Fly, guys. I'm Octaviano. That's my real name. I'm not even Aki Star. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I mean, he does this whole thing, bro. There's a big ass, like a lot of information that I could just tell you as to, how he has infiltrated my whole Spanish Fly brand. Yeah. And he's got the whole freestyle community convinced that he's Spanish Fly, dude. In terms of the upper guys, like the producers and some of the the guys the promoters that do the shows. So yeah,
but you came out because this is how I found you. I was like going through because I started following George Lamont, who, dude, I've loved George since the beginning. The guy, when he was at Footloose. He dropped his Battle of the Heart album. I saw the guy at concert when he used to come down to Paradise Beach, and perform on stage and stuff. And then Quarrel, I started following George and Quarrel on Instagram. And then you know how it'll tell you like, oh, you may like to follow this person. Boom, you come. But you know, like I said, I've always known you by Lorenzo or Ernie or just Spanish Fly, and it said Rocky, and I was like, wait a minute, why does this dude look so familiar? And I clicked it, and I'm like, oh, bro, this is Spanish Fly, and that's when I had hit you up. Okay, so
this is the confusion. So let me tell you. So Rocky, the reason why how Rocky came into the picture is because Rewind. After I had told you about, I got into that, the drug problem and stuff like that. Well, I ended up, finding God again.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? But this time, like, I found him, like, I became humble. I became really humble. And what happened is that when that happened, God showed me that my name, because my real name is Ernie Peter Ramos Jr. That's my real name. Mm-hmm. That's my government name. Right. Okay? So Peter in Arabic or Hebrew is rock. Okay, because that was the name that Peter that Jesus changed Simon to Peter, which is rock. So when that all transpired and I started going to church and stuff like that, I just like it clicked in my head, and I started to do Christian hip hop music before I came back to the industry. This was like back in 2007, 2006. I started to just do Christian hip hop music. So I went out as Rock E. And that's how I became rock. And then, I honestly, I'm not going to lie. I let go of all the Christian stuff in terms of like just my hip hop.
Right.
And so I started to go deep into hip hop music with Rocky.
Gotcha.
And that was before I started to get back the awareness of Spanish Fly, and all my fans started to get to catch on. Oh, this is Spanish Fly.
Right. Well, so that's what I was going to go into. So, you're now, because I've seen you. You've been performing, right?
Yeah.
And then you've been going and telling folks, hey, I'm the real Spanish Fly, and I've seen you like along the side of like Johnny O, Stevie B, guys like that. So did they immediately accept you? I mean, did you meet them before this all came around? Before they kind of blackballed you, or and they remembered you, or did you have to like revamp yourself to them to let them know, like, look, I'm the guy that actually recorded and did that song Precious?
Okay, so I'll answer that question, but before I do, I want to make a specific real quick. Mm-hmm. The word blackball does not identify me in the least. I'll just tell you like that. Because to me, blackball is a frame of mind when you're insecure about yourself.
Right.
You can either accept what people talk shit about you and do to you, or you can be secure about yourself and know who you are and say that shit ain't gonna affect me because I know how to reinvent myself. You feel me? I'm timeless in that manner. My soul, my spirit is timeless in that manner. My identity is timeless in that manner. So blackballing doesn't affect me in the least because I got so much within me that I can offer the world, if that's the case, that I can come out with content whenever I want, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I can be at anything at any time and transform into anything at any time whenever I want.
Well, I'm just saying because
I'm blessed with that gift.
Absolutely. What I'm saying is that, like you were saying, they were trying to defame you. They were trying to erase you from the surface of the earth. So here you are.
So go into that. You're right. No. So with that said, going into when I finally started to reconnect with Stevie B and Johnny O and all the greats, Lisa, and I started to reconnect, they were thrown off because of the defamation of character.
Right.
Because when I was doing my hip hop and this other guy, Octaviano, started to come in and to try to ride off my coattails again and to reclaim Spanish Fly again, they got thrown off. The bigger guys, the bigwigs, the celebrities, they got thrown off. They're like,
the legends.
Didn't I just see? Yeah, the legend. Didn't I just see Rocky? Didn't I just see Lorenzo back in the day here doing that? That face looks familiar. See, that's what happened. Is that the awareness, the relevancy started to, go on like with the salt on that other guy, the
Right.
fake Spanish fly. So that's what ended up happening. So then when I came in, I said, "This is my shit, bro. I'm Simba. You know,
Yeah.
I'm fucking Simba.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
the Lion King. I am the Lion King. Simba, it is time. Go back and take what's yours." So when I started to do that, then they started to realize and recognize, and then the greats realized it's not a blackball situation. This guy's the real deal. This is rock. This is the original, the real and true Spanish fly.
Did you have to? Let me ask you this. Let's just walk me through this really quick.
Yeah.
So here you are. They're looking at you. They're like, I'm pretty sure they looked at you in the beginning like, who? Like, who the fuck who are you saying? Because think about this. There's been some times where there's been people that have tried to take the image of another high energy singer. Because I would see, God, what was the name of the guy? Frankie something. He would
Frank J? No.
Yeah, no, not Frank J. He's on Instagram. He used to be from Ann Moore. He was a singer from Ann Moore. I don't know if you remember that group. Material Girl.
Yeah.
You remember that? Materialistic
Yeah, but
Girl.
I forgot his name.
Okay, and he would out people, that were trying to portray an artist. So here you are, and you go up to Stevie B. Did you feel like the need you had to show him proof to convince him, or was this like a short couple of minutes and they were like, "Oh yeah, I do remember you"?
Okay, so that's a dude. I love your questions. You're one of the best interviewers that I've had to do with. Really, yeah. So what it was is that listen. So what happened is that, see, when you don't know who you are, bro,
Right.
then you're gonna have problems in life, and you're gonna go through these struggles where when the situation comes up where it's time for you to take what's yours, or it's time for you to deal with it, then you can have problems. But the great thing about my life is that I've always known who I was. Even when I was going through it, I still knew who I was. And my confidence would build and build and build until it would be like bro, like you don't got to tell me I'm the man.
Right.
I know I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like that, in that respect, in that regard, it's like, so when I go up to meet my people, my colleagues in the business, I look at them with a certain eye that they know that if they don't know who I am, they are looking at somebody that they know that they got to remember and recognize that I'm somebody. So it puts a question in the back of their mind. Who is this guy? I know who this guy is.
Right.
So then they go back and they do their homework. And what happens is that, like, when I reconnected with Stevie B, he's like, Rocky Ramos, right?
Wow.
Because I would be on MySpace, and I would hit him up, yo, Stevie, I got some music for you,
Yeah.
or Johnny, oh, what's up, bro? It's Rocky. I hit them up like I already know them, because I do, and they know me. So it's like I'm not coming at them like I don't know them, like some idiot. So when I come at them, they give me that respect, because then they're gonna go back after we meet and be like, you know what? Who is that guy? Because I know that guy from somewhere. So they do their homework, and then the word starts getting around. Hey, that's Rocky. Yeah, you know Rocky. Rocky who? That's Spanish Fly. I thought that other guy. No, that's the fake Spanish Fly. No, yeah, Rocky. That's the real Spanish Fly. He's precious. So that's
Right.
that's how that goes down. So yeah.
I see
Crazy.
a lot of these guys getting together, especially in New York. I see like Cynthia and Coro, even George Lamont. They all show up at one spot in a basement. I think it's a basement area, like in the studio of that guy Frankie. I can't remember his freaking last name, dude. But he's on. I have him on Instagram, and he. Oh no, not Instagram. It's Facebook. I have him on Facebook, and he has like a regular show where he's just playing nothing but high energy music, freestyle music, and he's having all these artists. Have you has any of the East Coast guys reached out to you and said, "Hey, Rocky, come through, come down, and let's perform"?
Yes, bro. Yeah, I didn't get into that part, but there was a period in 2011, no, 2009. Take it back.
Uh-huh.
In 2009, when Facebook started to become real popular. It was 2000, between 2008 and 2009. I was already like, doing good. That drug thing was gone, long gone. I was already like, pretty doing good in my church, and I was doing good as an artist, and I started to reconnect with all these other East Coast artists that actually knew who I was, and so that started to create a buzz, and so I started to go back on tour. So I ended up in New York, and I met a lot of, I ended up meeting, just people you can recognize today. Tony Garcia. Man, I can't even think right on my head, but people, Julio Manna, like all these guys that are on the East Coast that I reconvened with, I reconnected with. So then that's where I started to build up again. And then that's when in 2012, when the Southern Clown comes back. So, yeah, and starts to, oh my God, Rocky's, he's telling everybody the truth. And so that's what ended up happening. Remember when the realness was something that you frowned upon on right. Facebook? Try to be real. People were like frowning upon you being real. They took it as disrespectful. They were trying to, use the defamation of character to get you. So, what's his name that has that? What's his name's husband? Angel from the Cover Girls, Lateef.
Oh, yeah.
He had that. Uh-huh. He had that. He started that freestyle for phonies in 2012.
That's where I saw it. Yes, that's where I saw that.
After I came back from New York, then I started to go on there and started to tell people more because I wanted, to continue to reclaim my fame. Well, they started to try to shut me down because I was telling the truth, and they couldn't get that. They couldn't understand that.
Right.
So a lot of people were saying, "No, Rocky, you're the fake Spanish." No, because it's because of the other guy. So like. That's when all that was like. It was a struggle back then.
Right.
See, now it's not a struggle because now it's you look down, you frown upon not being real, not telling the truth. So the truth will always set you free. The truth will always come to the light, my brother.
So just a few more. I got actually I got like two more questions for you. So how Kia Star reach? I mean, because this is going on. And you're now coming out and you're like, look, this is the real story. This is what happened. I'm the real Spanish Fly. You got to be a fucking thorn to his foot, right? You got to be. You got to be like that. Like, oh my God, this nightmare just won't go away. Has he, Octaviano, which he's changed his name to Ikea Star, has he reached out to you? Like, hey man, can you back off or can we work something out? Has any of that come along your way yet or no?
That's another brilliant question, my brother. So basically what it was is that I tried to reach out to him because I knew that he was too cowardly to do it because he was always taught to hide the truth. So for his own benefit. See, I mean, I know you're his friend, he's your friend and stuff. So you're not going to bash him or talk bad about him, and I don't expect you to.
Right.
But on my end, I have a different different relationship.
Yeah, you have a different perspective of it.
I gotta be real. So, but he's an opportunist. Opportunists, right?
Right.
When things for their own benefit, they have to try to twist and try to manipulate and try to form something in order to continue the narrative, so to speak. And so that's what he tried to do. Try to keep that narrative that he's Spanish Fly. I don't want to lose I don't want to lose my fans.
I think where he's at is that he's trying to protect his income, right? Because this has been his bread and butter. You know what I mean? Like this is what's been paying his bills and getting him through the years and whatnot. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, and that's another reason why my name is Rocky, bro. Because I'm gonna tell you, you hit a nerve with me right there. I have to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
I have to interject because. See, that's the difference between a guy like him and a guy like me in the music industry. Let me tell you. Mm-hmm. You have those that are famous and those that are infamous. And this is the deal. The infamous guys like me, we're the guys that don't rely on this because we know that monetary gain it's temporary. We understand the weakness of monetary gain, where they are deceived by it and see it in a different way. They rely on it. That's all that they base their whole future off of it.
Right.
See, I'm different. This is what the fuck this is how I roll, bro.
Right.
And when I say this, I don't mean physically.
Right.
I mean this with my character, with
Right.
my identity. I'm secure with who I am.
Right. They're
I'm so secure with, I'm so secure. Exactly, bro. I'm so secure with who I am that I know, dude, that my business could fail tomorrow and I create another business. I'll become successful, another day. You feel me? So for me, I don't sweat it, bro. I don't sweat things like that, because this will get you caught up. And that's why you're right. You hit it on the head. That's the difference. And the reason why I have he has a conflict with me,
Right.
telling the truth.
So you reach out to him, and then what? Does he doesn't respond, or is it like short and like get away? Like, okay, oh yeah, I see you, but I don't really see you, type of deal.
So I'm gonna tell you like this. It's like this. And I say it like this. It's like the gangster who has to go to court and tell the judge. Whoa, almost fell. Who has to tell the judge that expose the truth about the murderers that they committed, the crimes that they committed. They have to cover it up. So what it is that he was taught to not in order for the truth to kind of like don't let nobody know everything and the real deal. Mm-hmm. Him and John Lopez, in order to keep this cover up, safe with them, he actually gave Milo the sense that he could copyright the name Spanish Fly. And so that's what Milo went and did. He went and tried to get. He went and got the copyright for it. Wow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So see to a guy like him, he thinks that is gonna stop me, but that don't stop me, bro. Because for me, I've always been successful with word of mouth. I've always been successful in my business for word of mouth, my music word of mouth. Everything's been word of mouth with Rocky, with Renzo, with Spanish Fly. So you could try to stop me, but you can't. You can't stop me. Even if you did patent the name.
I gotta tell you this though. Hey, and if I'm in his mind, if I'm him, if I'm a Kia Star, okay, Octaviano, and I'm gonna deal with a guy. Think about this, okay? You got this fucking nutcase out there, standing out in the crowd, bro, okay? Staring me down, wants to kick my ass, and then still coming at me. I'd be scared out of my freaking mind. You don't think that's where he's at? Like, he's freaked out of his mind at. Because let me tell you this. If nobody's ever met you personally, I mean, you're a big guy. You're not a little Mexicano. You're not a small, like the average little Mexican 5'2", 5'3". You're like what? How tall are you, bro? You're like 5'9", 5'10", or some shit?
No, I'm 6 foot.
There you go. I rest my case. I rest my case, bro. But no. I mean, I could really, because I know, like I said, I've known Octaviano for years. I haven't talked to him in years, though. I mean, be honest with. I mean, we lost out of touch after my recording days of me. At that time I was a struggling artist as well. But we would talk here and there through social media like Facebook, and I would ask him about Armando, blah, blah, blah. But knowing him back then, I would know, like, he's not a fighter. He's not a street guy. I could just see his mind frame like, dude, this guy's going to kill me. You know what I mean?
Well, I could say it like this.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like, I'm not telling you to knock him, but I mean, I'm a realist and I expose the truth. And with that said, I mean, you could say that's true in the sense, because why would anybody, try to alter their body to try to make it look like they're buff and get shoulder implants? Why? To try to make them look like they're more buffer than they actually are.
Yeah.
Why would you get plastic surgery on your arms, on your shoulders?
Oh wow!
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know you did.
See, my shoulders are huge, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now. But the way the camera works, it can make you look small or big.
Right.
But if you were with me in real time, like, I could see you got a wide body frame as well. Like my my shoulders are wide, they're big,
Right.
and so it's like even though I got diabetes and it's weight, it's sucked up a lot of the juice of my muscles,
Right.
but I still have my bones are big, so
Right.
they naturally look big no matter what.
Yeah. So you've always been a big guy. That I remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm 5'9", so I've always remembered I had to like look up at you, and you know that I know. The figure of you is a big guy. That's what I'm saying. Octaviano's a small guy. He's a little guy. You know? Even Milo, he was not. He was tall, but he was not this over like bearing guy. And in going back to where we come from, because we come from the same spots, you know. And I knew, you know, we were both street kids. I was equally as aggressive as you were, and I know that if I was not from that side of the corner, and I saw some guy that was upset about what was going on and was showing up to sabotage my shows, and then you think it's over, like okay, the nightmare's over, it's done, and all of a sudden you creep right back in, like, hey, you remember me, fucker? That would scare the shit out of me. That would put me right there. I'd be like, oh man, like damn, this guy's not going anywhere. But let me ask you this: what happened with? Did you ever get a chance to speak to John Lopez after all these years have passed? Have you guys ever came across and exchanged any words or any any conclusion to what happened between you two?
Well, I'll tell you like this is that my awareness started to become more alive as the years progressed. So as I got older, I started to become more wiser, more intellectual, more, you know, just my mind started to open up and all these things, the way I would conduct myself and the way I would talk, it's different. So, but with John Lopez, you know, he's not going to understand that because, you know, he sees me as someone he got over on. And you know how it is that when you're in a position when somebody feels like they got over on you, they feel like they're still better than you. They feel like they got something on you.
Well, he's still stuck at the time. He's still stuck at that time when you were a kid.
Exactly, bro. You know, but he don't know me. You know, I mean, I could transform into a chameleon, but I'm not doing that because the simple fact is that I got children that I love with all my heart, and those are the kids and my family that, you know what I'm saying? Those are the people that I love that keep me
grounded.
Calm the fuck down, bro. Because
it is true.
Because let me tell you, bro. I mean, I've gotten into situations where I've expressed what I was gonna do.
Right.
No, Dad, don't go there, Dad. Don't go there. Don't do this, Dad, because if you do that, we're gonna lose you forever.
Right.
Bro, I know how to be behind you and you not know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I roll, bro. You know that. You know how we do in San Ho, what we came from.
Oh yeah, brother. All right, let's go. What is Rocky up to, man? I see the studio behind you. I know you're still doing music. I see it on your Instagram, which everybody, you guys can follow him at The Real Spanish Fly on Instagram. It's written on there underneath the video. You know, fill us in, man. What do we expect from you coming this year or the following year? What are we gonna get?
My bad. So you know what? I've been releasing music. I've been releasing freestyle music, but I'm gonna keep it real with you. It's like I've got so much going on in the background and with my children, you know, in my family, it's just so hard to concentrate and focus solely on music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I was saying, back in 2012, I started to educate myself in terms of my craft on a technological level. So, like I'm my own engineer now, so I can.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty much a master at pretty much every department of music, and except the promotional part. I'm still like that's where it's hard for me, bro, because I come from the old school.
Right.
So from me being from the record company days, it's like I'm still kind of spoiled in that aspect where I expect to be, you know, I don't. It's hard for me to just promote myself. So I put out the music, but I can't get it out there the way that I want to. And then too, you know, financially, it's a game. It's a game because you could put money into something one day, and then the next you got to put more into it, and keep pouring into it, keep pouring into it. So I've been putting out music, but it's freestyle, bro. So I mean, I can do all kinds of types of music, but I feel like I'm not gonna ever hit the target until I do what I'm was born to do, and that's mainstream music. To be real with you,
Right.
but I'm still locked into freestyle because, dude, I love it. We all love it,
Yeah.
dude. There's no music like freestyle.
No.
There's no music.
No.
In fact, look at, I'm working on this track right now.
You know what I like about this track, bro? I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
straight up. You kept the body of the style of music for it, of freestyle. You didn't try to change it. You're not trying to make it like a new freestyle. Like I've heard these new freestyle songs, and they don't even match that. This embodies the era of what freestyle music really was. Great stuff, bro.
Wait, say that again, the last part, because it was loud.
I said you embodied that track right there embodied the era of freestyle. You know, like I could hear that from back in the days to today, and it's still a jam. You know, it's still a song that I would still tune in and listen to. You know, whereas I see a lot of guys trying to do new freestyle, but they're trying to do it like a different way, and the sound just doesn't match. It's not pulling you in. This pulls you in. Like you don't even need the lyrics. The beat itself got you going. Like, oh, this is gonna be a banger. This is gonna be.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, that's for sure. You know what? I was actually working on this for another artist to work with. I'm not sure if you know who Shy is. Do you know who Shy? Jay Castillo. He has a song called Forever. He just released it. He has some other good music. Actually, he was.
I haven't. No, I don't.
Yeah, he's another old school freestyle artist from back in the day. Worked with what's his name? Man, I can't. Tito Puente Jr. He's worked with a bunch of different. Anyway, I was gonna work on this with him, see if he wanted to maybe write something to it. And
Right.
dude, I'm always constantly sending other artists music too as well. So hey, who knows? We'll see, man. We'll see what happens.
Well, Ben, it's been a pleasure, bro, speaking to you, man. I mean, I want to thank you for taking all this time that we're being on here on this interview. Going back, revisiting, your dark times to your better times, and it looks like you're doing phenomenal, man. I want to wish you all the luck in the world. Anybody wants to go back and follow Rocky here from at his Instagram. Be sure you download his music, man. You're on iTunes, right? Or is it what SoundCloud?
Yeah, I'm on iTunes. I got a song called Princess as well. You can find Precious, Princess. I have another song out there. I have a whole volume actually with Spanish Fly. So you guys could, if you look up Spanish Fly, if you look up Rocky, Ramos, you'll find my music out there. It's just, and I'm always updating. If you're on Facebook, because I'm on Facebook a lot. So my Facebook page is The Real Spanish Fly. The Real Spanish Fly. That's it.
There you go.
On Facebook.
Go. Well, man, like I said, brother, it was a pleasure and everything, bro. And I look forward to hearing the rest. Dude, as soon as you're done with that track, whatever you do with it, send it to me. I want to be able to bump it in the car too, man.
Cool, brother. I appreciate that very much.
All right, man.
And thank you for having me. I want to say something real quick. I know that your network, or I want to say your platform, was built mainly for the UFC. Is that what it is? For boxing, right?
Boxing, yeah.
Yes, for boxing. My bad. So I want to let people that are going to listen to this to check you out as well, bro. Can you go ahead and state what it is?
Oh, it's Leave It in the Ring. This is going to go up on our network and all that. And this is something. Let me tell you this. I'm known in the boxing circuit as 97 Rough Dave Duenas, the boxing top guy. Okay. But I always, never really. I mean, I'll dab a little bit about my other interests. A lot of folks don't know this about me, man. They don't know. They just know me as a guy that loves boxing, talks boxing, interviews a bunch of fighters. But they really didn't know that I used to be a recording artist. I was a guy that was trying to get my music out. I got into raw deals as well as you did. But I wanted to be able to venture out this year and doing interviews of things that I found very interesting. And I knew that your story as Spanish Fly, Ernie, Lorenzo Ramos was a very, Rocky, it was very interesting. And it was a story that really needed to be out there. Now, I never claimed to be a journalist. I always just claim as a guy that likes to bring out stories that nobody's really touching on or talking about. And I thought yours was one of those that needed to be out in the front, that people get a chance to really see not just the glory of what you've done, not just the legacy that you left with the song Precious and what you continue to do, but how you got there and what happened, and throughout your career and your life, man. And I'm glad, bro, that you shared that with us. I'm glad that you shared it with me, and that you were so open and willing to do that, man, because, I'm going to end up listening to this interview numerous times, and I hope all my listeners, too, listen to this interview numerous times and stuff, man, because there was a lot of gems that you dropped for people that do want to, if they do want to get into the business of music or anything, they can go back and listen to what you went through and know what not to do, what to look out for before they start putting that ink on a piece of paper, right?
That's right, brother. That's right. Hey, look out. Put it this way. Keep me in a special prayer, because I'm gonna tell you why. Because one of my things is that I've been wanting to make a freestyle movie since I was in the business in the beginning. Okay, but now more so than ever. And I've always wanted to tell my story on the big screen. I've actually looked into it with some Hollywood, Hollywood execs.
Mm-hmm.
So, and to bring awareness to freestyle in the mainstream arena. So that was one of my things, bro. So keep me in that prayer, because I'm still wanting to tell my story in that arena.
Hey, and you can do it, man. If Gally was able to release a movie about his life, which was In Love with a Church Girl, bro, you can.
Yes.
You can.
Yes, I remember. Yes, you did. He did a good job too.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, brother. Here we are, man. Again, thanks for everybody that's tuning in. Rocky, the real Spanish Fly, but let's take out the real. He's just Spanish Fly.
Yes, sir. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Much love. Much love, my brother. Thank you.